Here we go.
Welcome to another edition of the Signatures and Finishers podcast. I'm your host, DS Walk, and joining me today is, as usual, my tag team partner, the man himself, the myth, the legend, Jamie. And we just had a little debate before the show. We won't get into all those details because my man over here talking about how much he hates basketball. Showing up like the undersell the Seattle Supersonics in 1996, but we won't get into all that information because that's not another day, another time.
I was not underselling the Supersonics first off.
Yeah. Anyhow,
that's my team.
Yeah. Anyhow, he liked to downplay that they ain't had no squad when they played the Bulls in '96. But again, we ain't getting into that.
Hawkins, Eric, Snow.
They were productive. Anyhow, last night, AEW Double or Nothing happened. Yeah, he's shaking his head. AEW Double or Nothing happened last night. And I got to say, it was probably the best pay-per-view I've seen all year. It was probably the best pay-per-view the last year in general. The way the match flowed from beginning to the end, the way it breathed, everything from the matches, the video package, the entrance. Shout out to Tony Khan for paying tribute to New York City with the entrance where he like to say is always construction everywhere on the buildings, and he had those guards up. Every match on that show last night not only meant something on the wrestling was great, but you remember I always talk about sometimes you have too much blood, too much gore. Everything was just right last night.
Did you have your filters on? Were you playing with your filters on, watching it?
Oh no, I didn't.
It's becoming a standard that WWE just needs to watch AEW. Like that's to the point that it's gotten.
But see, here's the thing though, they is watching the AEW. They're paying attention to what they're doing. If you don't think Triple H is not watching AEW or Nick Khan not watching AEW.
The great thing is that it's already at the point with AEW that you expect this. Like you expect to watch Double or Nothing and it be amazing. Look at Double or Nothing last year. Last year I would say was just slightly better than yesterday's. Yesterday's was still excellent.
Yesterday to me was, I look at that match card. And don't get me wrong, in the beginning, I had some worries because I was kind of wondering how they're going to deliver, how this game is going to play out. Is it going to make sense? Because if you look at their weekly television, they don't tell stories. They jump around a lot. But once they get to the pay-per-view, they hit a home run all the time, home run. And yesterday it was just one of those things for me. I was a little worried about the main event and how that was going to play out, how they going to hit the home run, how they going to end this story. Was Mick Foley going to be involved? Thank God he wasn't. AEW. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. If you're watching AEW pay-per-view, why is the need to watch WWE pay-per-view?
The only thing holding AEW back right now is the fact that they still use a pay-per-view system.
Oh, yeah.
If they could just get an actual subscription-based thing that actually was fluid and worked, not what they have now, but where they were actually on a streaming provider and you could just access their stuff, AEW right now would rock it up to WWE's level real fast. Quite honestly, Paramount is dropping the ball. Warner Brothers was dropping the ball by not doing that with AEW.
Yes, Warner's definitely. Paramount, we don't know what they're going to do. We just know that
Paramount's going to drop wrestling. They want nothing to do with it. Like they can't even figure out how to do the news business. They're not going to keep a wrestling company.
Right. With AEW is when it comes to the weekly shows, it's the fundamental of the weekly show. They just gotta tighten up.
They just need storytelling. They just need somebody that can actually tell stories. Their TV shows worry me more than their pay-per-views. Their pay-per-views, they're going to knock it out of the park every time, and they've shown that for basically the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's the, like, for example, the Darby Allin MJF story. It tells itself because we talking about a rivalry that's been going on since day one. So that's a story that's always going to be told. It's going to continue to be told. When I seen the Okada, who's the guy I can't pronounce?
Takeshita.
There you go. When I watched their match, that was a story that it told itself. We knew about the jealousy of both guys of each other. We knew that the Alpha wanted what Okada have. He wanted his respect. That's the only thing this match about. Yeah, of course he won the title. It's about, yo, I want his respect because he always disrespect me. Last night, he earned that respect. Cost him in the end, but he got that respect. Again, with AEW, they have certain stories where it tells itself. You probably just need just to guide it in a direction where it'll get across that finish line. But the other stories, you know, you just add just a little bit here and there to it. Your weekly shows will take off dramatically because if you look at the WWE, they lowered the standard. Their standards, we don't care. If no big time moments is happening on their weekly shows, they don't care. If Tony Khan, we say this every time it's AEW, if they just add a little fundamental, if we hire a booker, if we had a good writing team, and the way the WWE is doing their thing, they could easily be number one promotion right now in the United States, probably in the whole world.
I mean, like I said, if I'm Tony Khan, all my effort right now would be working on things backstage. The product works. You just need somebody that can consistently tell stories on a weekly basis and to work on getting an actual deal to where you can put your stuff on a streaming service that you don't have to charge for a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Especially with the cost of everything getting so much more expensive, like across the board. Nobody wants to shell out $40-$50 to watch pay-per-view anymore.
Oh, hey, absolutely not.
So
I mean, that's taking the bill away. Or that's adding the bill.
Like that's the only thing holding them back at this point, because their shows, the shows that people actually care about, are 1,000 times better than anything WWE could even comprehend right now.
100%.
And that's not even being like an AEW slappy. That's just from an actual just wrestling fan perspective. If you're just a WWE fan and you love WWE through and through, I feel bad for you. Because they're not giving you any of your time's worth or your money's worth for anything that they're doing.
No.
And they basically laugh about it. They talk about it. Oh, we're basically on par with Major League Baseball. So there's no reason that we can't spread ourselves across all these different networks and do all these different things. Like I told you, I looked at the prices for Raw because it's coming, I think, July 20th here. $1,000 for 2 tickets for VIP. I didn't even bother looking at the other ones. The VIP was just the first one. I was like, yeah, 2 tickets. And they were crap seats. They were like upper bowl, Little Caesars Arena, $1,000.
Glad I'm gonna miss it.
Why? It's a Raw. Like,
yeah. So this is getting back to the pay-per-view. What match did you like?
I mean, the Okada Takeshita match was great. The Kyle O'Reilly Moxley match was great.
I hear some people saying that match was suited for a Dynamite, in which I disagree.
No,
because it led to something else.
It's because they've wrestled multiple times in the last year and a half, all at pay-per-views. That's why people are just kind of sick of seeing Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly, but they're good. That's why they keep getting paired up, because they're good.
That chemistry is unbelievable. I mean, Kyle O'Reilly is a wrestler. He's not a high flyer. He is a technical wrestler.
But I mean, that match was good. The Okada Takeshita match was good. The FTR Cope and Cage match was excellent.
The simple fact that Beth got involved in it, it made sense because what happened to her.
Last time she was on TV, she got beat up by him.
Yeah.
But I mean,
And
Darby and MJF was great. Like all the matches are good. I mean, the Jericho match was. If you need your comedic segment,
good, but it was funny.
If you need your comedic segment, there you go. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah, who would like to see Leo Rush as some type of, I don't know what it was. I don't know what he was trying to do.
He's basically being Gollum from Lord of the Rings. That's the closest that I could really give you as far as what his character's supposed to be.
But
I get it. He's trying to do something completely different from what he was. Whether it's working or not, I guess, could be up to interpretation.
It's working because you see
Bobby actually look
like.
What? Yeah, I mean that's basically it. He's just Gollum from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, but again, it was a stadium stampede. Well, I affectionately would call it an arena stampede, but it made sense. It made everything. It made sense from Leo Rush getting involved, helping Bobby Lashley jump on that guy, Ricochet's crew, from Tony Khan calling 911 about a bus hitting a car. Jack Perry tried to run over Mark Davis and he missed him.
Yeah,
I mean, damn.
The whole show was good. Like it had everything that you wanted. It had your that whole stadium stampede. It was a good comedic break. If you weren't super interested in it, go to the concessions, hit the bathroom, do whatever. It broke it up nicely. It was just good. The timing was good. The pacing was good.
And usually on the AEW pay-per-view, Tony Khan will give you anywhere from 22 minutes to like 35 minutes to do your thing. And that's what I do like, because at least he will give you time to get your spots in, tell the rightful story.
Thekla won again, so she's closing in on Roman.
Who won again?
Thekla.
She's closing on Roman. Which title reign?
This 4-year run. She's had the belt for almost 1,300 days.
Thekla?
Or what's her face? Not Thekla. Never mind.
Athena?
Yeah. I've been up way too early. Baby was up early. My brain's fried.
Yeah, we know that. We know this.
Yeah.
She's up, you're up. Mom sleeps in.
Yeah. But no, even that match was good. I mean, the women's 4-way match. Hayter looked good. Statlander looked good.
Yeah.
I mean, Statlander had to be the one to take the loss, which is fine. It's not going to hurt her momentum at all.
No. And actually, if you look at Chris Statlander, she is getting what she's want. How many times I had told you how many times we had mentioned that when she did that interview, she just wanted character development.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting character development. Now, she took the L, she took the pin. Do I see her getting a shot at the title anytime soon? Absolutely not. I don't see it. I can honestly here say they made the right decision of Thekla winning the match. Now it's kind of like, who's next? So I don't anticipate her.
Mercedes is going to have to come back sooner than later. That's really the only thing left right now.
Who, Mercedes?
Yeah.
Either Mercedes or not Sky Blue, because Sky Blue it's going to be in the Owen Hart tournament. Willow is about the only one I can think of.
Willow, Mercedes. That's it. And I mean, they've obviously been pushing Willow for a while, so it's only a matter of time. And maybe this is the time now
to pull the trigger.
I mean, Thekla is kind of like your present and your future. I don't know if they necessarily want to feed Willow to her yet, or take it from her and give to Willow. So Mercedes might be the legitimacy part of the run that she needs.
Well, if you look at Willow, she's part of their present and future as well.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying
you
can't sacrifice one for the other. It's the same reason why, if WWE wanted to have great numbers, why don't you throw Bronson Reed out against Gunther, or Braun Breaker out against Oba Femi. That would get people to watch. You don't want to risk running one of them off course.
No.
Same thing with Willow and Thekla. They're both the present and the future. You don't want to put those two up against each other yet. That's why Mercedes would be ideal, because that would give Thekla legitimacy.
100%.
And then you could move on to Willow Mercedes, and then Willow then goes up to Thekla. A lot of different ways you could do it, but you can't take all your young guys and just throw them against each other, because then one's going to get put over, the other one's going to fall down, and then it's going to be, just in the fans' eyes, that much harder for them to get back up there.
100%.
I mean, look at what's happening with Oba. Like, they caught the last time Oba came out, they're pumping the crowd noise in WWE because people don't care already.
And that's the thing about last night. The crowd was into it from the beginning of the 0 hour to the end of the final match. I mean, we talking about over 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That pay-per-view didn't end until like after midnight. The crowd of 15,015 were into the match. You can tell that no one wasn't sitting down. You can tell that no, this ain't no crowd noise pumping it.
AEW swallowed their pride 2 years ago and said, "We're not selling tickets. We're going to go to smaller venues." And it's like Jericho said, "I would rather play or perform in front of an arena of 2,000 people than an empty stadium of 20,000."
100%.
So yeah, they do slightly smaller venues, but they pack them. 15,000 for a WWE event, you'd say that's a Raw or a SmackDown. But how many times have we talked about recently WWE's PLEs, and you can count the empty seats?
Hey, prime example, what was the pay-per-view they had in Saudi Arabia?
The one with the lights on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was nobody there.
Oh, yeah, no, that was just the lights. No, those seats were empty.
And we're not talking about one section of the seats. We talking about up in the upper bowl, that man-made stadium. It was empty.
Yeah.
And
WrestleMania. To AEW. They figured it out. We're going to do slightly smaller venues. But again, it's not like they're permanently stuck to smaller venues. You build that crowd up, then you go back to the bigger arenas. Maybe All In next year is at a 20,000 person arena. Last year they were at like an 8,000 person arena. You're at 15,000 this year. Maybe next year you're at a 2025. Test the waters. We see what happens when they do their Wembley events. They basically
80,
sell out Wembley.
80,000.
Yeah, consistently. So they can do it, especially when you start getting, not that everybody watches our show. I have no idea how many people watch our show. I show up and just do the talking point because that's all I do. But for the other people that watch some of the other wrestling shows, as people start talking about it and saying how good their shows are, other people are going to start watching AEW.
Yes.
We've been telling people to watch AEW since we started this show.
Yep.
Just because the wrestling overall is better.
Yes. And I think a lot of us realize that what I like about AEW now more than anything is that you remember when Daniel Bryan always say we be the best wrestler. He'll come out there, he'll wrestle his butt off, put on good matches. I think nobody has realized that he has not wrestled at all.
Been like a year.
And they're still putting on great matches at their pay-per-views. Hold on, let me rephrase that. Even on their weekly shows, they're putting on great wrestling matches.
Oh, yeah. The storytelling is the only thing that suffers.
Right. But we're not giving them credit for it because as wrestling fans, we expect the story to expect a beginning, the middle, and the end. But we forget about, hey, these guys are putting on great wrestling shows.
AEW does a lot of the things that I wish WWE would do. They have time limits. They keep track of win-loss records. Now, yeah, some of it's subjective for storyline purposes, but it at least, Cody Rhodes talked about it a few weeks ago. Actually, it might have been like 2 months ago. He is in favor of bringing back time limits to WWE. He said, I know it'll never happen, but sometimes it builds a story when there is no story. And if there's anything WWE needs, it's ways to make stories, because they don't have people smart enough or creative enough to create stories from nothing. let's say you have LA Knight versus Ray Phoenix.
Right.
Two guys that they're not doing anything with. Let's say that's a match on Raw. What happens if they went the full 20 minutes?
A draw.
Guess what? It's a draw. But now you have something that you can grasp onto to start telling a story out of it. How do you think Carmelo Hayes and Andrade happened?
A draw.
Yeah. And it turned into 7 of the best matches WWE's put on in the last 20-some years.
Yeah, and by the way,
and anybody who wants to dispute that can go ahead and try. You tell me 2 people that put on a better series of matches consistently than those 2 guys did in all 7 of those matches.
Oh, it's been a while. I can't even tell you the last person to do it. I mean, we talking about 7 guys just having a best out of 7 wrestling match, nothing on the line, period.
But that's the way the matches in AEW are on a weekly basis. Everybody gives them a hard time because they say we're the best wrestle. And then everybody wants to highlight, the one dude that tripped on the ropes last week or whatever. And so I saw that going all over social media. We're the best wrestle, and the dude couldn't even stand on the ropes. Well, at the same week, you guys want to talk about that. Damian Priest couldn't even stand on the top rope. Tama Tonga had to save him from basically killing himself. And we're talking about a dude that was actually running across the ropes doing something. Priest couldn't even stand up.
Hey, prime example yesterday, Darby Allin, his shoes, click, the second rope fell awkwardly, but he was trying to do a move.
And they played it off
by MJF just swatting him out the way.
Io Sky a couple of weeks ago, she did that suicide dive and her toes caught the rope and she landed almost on her head.
Yeah.
That wasn't all that long ago. It happens. If you're doing a move like that, things like that are going to happen. You call out the botches when it's Seth Rollins trying to just do something he's not capable of doing against Braun Breaker, trying to copy Will Ospreay. That's not you, bud. That's never been you. At any point in your career, you were never going to pull that move off. Why are you trying now? Those are botches. But AEW's, their matches overall, you expect that kind of quality. The storytelling, yes, it can be subjective. Does Tony need to hire writers and probably more producers? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But when it comes to putting on a major show, he's knocked it out of the park basically for 2 years straight.
Yes,
you might not like every outcome of every match, but the quality of the shows, WWE wishes they could put on a WrestleMania as good as he's putting on a Double or Nothing. That's not even their biggest show.
No, it's not. And rumor has it in July they're supposed to be a new pay-per-view called Redemption. They haven't confirmed that yet, but that's the rumor. Let's get to some of these matches because some of these matches, well, actually, all of their matches left with stories that's going to be told after this match. But there's a few of them I want to talk about, and one I want to talk about is the Darby Allin situation after the match, the Okada and the Takeshita. The Alpha and Rainmaker match will happen afterwards. And Will Ospreay, I want to start with that because Will Ospreay had a hell of a match. He won. Mm-hmm. He beat Samoa Joe. That's one of those matches where I kind of felt that, hey, it could have went either way. But the right decision was made. I mean, you said, hey, Will Ospreay is going to win because he's going to be main event in Wembley. The story afterwards was that, let me rephrase that. Before that match, we had a Jon Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly match.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell purposely they did that because the next match was Will Ospreay versus Samoa Joe. And the reason why that intrigued me is because they talked about how the Ops, Samoa Joe, offered to train Will Ospreay and be part of his team. And he declined. Jon Moxley and Death Riders are working with Will Ospreay, training him, getting ready for that. To say storyline purpose, we don't know. What's coming out of that to me is that at some point, I do believe that Will Ospreay, if it's not written in stone right now, I think he's going to join the Death Riders. I
That
don't
would
think it
not
just. I
that
don't
would
think
not
it's.
do anything to help AEW. The Death Riders, honestly, at this point, just need to kind of fade out. You
It's
either
kind
need to
of,
get some new blood that's not your main level event talent, as in a Will Ospreay. Maybe you steal Hook from the Ops. Hook would be ideal for the Death Riders, not Will Ospreay.
well, see, the reason I'm saying that is because if you look at the Death Riders right now, you remember how we talking about the bloodline, they're stale. That's to get just in this right here. The Death Riders on that same situation here, where you have John Moxley, who's been cheered, the people love him. He's kind of like the old Mox in a way. He's kind of like the new Mox, but it's a throwback Mox. That was something new.
The rest of the crew is the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Right. The rest of the crew is getting booed out their freaking minds. Nobody don't like them. Nobody don't like Claudio. I don't understand how. But maybe this is just a way for Tony Khan. He telling a story where Mox and Ospreay is going to be that new Death Rider faction. Because I don't see too much longer that Mox, even though he loves his crew, he can't get cheered and wrestle him get booed. It doesn't make sense.
Like I said, the Death Riders have been going on for too long to begin with. Because again, it's just a carryover of the Blackpool Combat Club, which I was surprised they carried that on for as long as they did after William Regal left. But
hey, I'm surprised they carried on this long when they got rid of Daniel Bryan.
Will Ospreay right now needs to be basically your Diamond Dallas Page at WCW.
What do you mean by that?
Just the independent guy that just does his own thing. He's not joining any crews or anything like that. Leave him to just be the solo star that he is. Now, if his match work suffers because of the injuries and things like that, then yeah, maybe you got to hide him and put him into a group. But as of last night, he's not suffering anything.
Oh, heck, he had a hell of a match with Joe. Can we get Joe some love, man? Joe made that match look good.
Well, and that's why he got in there with Joe. It was basically your touch up, get you back into like real wrestling shape against somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. And Joe doesn't have a problem losing. That's the good thing about Joe. He's never had a problem losing to anybody.
No. He got no problem putting the right people over. And that match, itself it told you everything you needed to know about Samoa Joe and where he at in his career. The man can still go. The man can still be a champion, but the man has no problem putting over the younger talent in the right situation. Now, I wouldn't even call Will Ospreay younger talent, but he know that Will Ospreay is the face of the company. He ain't had no problem being the match with him. He's a good worker. He's a safe worker. He's going to put you over. He's going to make you look good. Even though some parts of the match, it was kind of a little bumpy here, but Joe make it look good. And he made Ospreay's, when Ospreay was doing his moves, he made it look great. He made it look he looked better than he was supposed to. Joe don't get a lot of credit out here in these streets.
Joe's never gotten a lot of credit because of the people he's wrestled. He's always just been the fat guy.
Shout out to all the fat guys. Joe's representing us the right way.
I mean, WWE never did anything with him. Why?
Of course not.
He's the fat guy. He's not a Triple H looking guy.
The only thing that made sense,
Joe could out wrestle anybody on the roster at the time.
Oh yeah, he wasn't.
Besides maybe AJ.
Yeah, he wasn't a Vince guy.
No.
And the only match that made sense to me when Joe was in the WWE was when he fought Brock Lesnar. And to a certain degree, did he fight Roman Reigns?
Well, he was hurt most of the time when Roman was on his tear.
Yeah.
He was doing like commentary and stuff like that.
Yeah. See, I was disappointed by that because Roman versus Joe, I feel cheated. I feel cheated because I know deep down in my heart of hearts, Joe would have won that match.
Well, that's why they always say the greatest Samoan doesn't even wrestle in WWE. He's in AEW.
Right.
I mean, if you're objective, Samoa Joe is better than anybody in that bloodline. 100%. I think, honestly, you'd probably have to say maybe Umaga or Yokozuna would be on his level, but that would be about it.
100%. I agree with you on that one. Joe's a badass. They don't say Joe will kill you for no reason now. All right. We talking about a guy who took AJ Styles to the limit. Not once, not twice.
Those were great matches back in the day. You had Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles. The three of them always put on good matches.
The simple fact
that Frankie Kazarian.
Oh yeah. The simple fact that Joe wasn't a heavyweight champion in WWE, it tells you a lot how they feel about Joe. And that you didn't give your best wrestler the title. The same guy who almost made Brock Lesnar tap, choked him out, who choked out Heyman.
You can look at WWE and their failed logic many times. Again, Finn Balor won the title, had to give it up for injury purposes, and you never let him sniff it again. You never let him get back there. It's been 10 years.
My oh my. Can you imagine if he had never got hurt and what would have happened to his career?
The matches you could have had with Finn Balor and AJ showing up at that time would have been amazing.
Yes, it was.
But Vince was too busy trying to beat off Roman Reigns at the time, building that up.
Yeah, I know. The Okada, the Alpha, and the Rainmaker match was probably one of the best matches. And I know we always talk about, no, let me phrase that. It was the best match of the night. Yeah. We always talk about how wrestlers don't sell when they no sell. It's crap. In this match, I did not care about the no sell because actually the no sell kind of fit.
It's okay when it fits. AEW has gotten a lot better because I know I've critiqued them on that before on this show where, you know, 3 Mexican destroyers and you stand up and act like nothing's even happened to you. Like AEW's gotten a lot better with the no sells. If anything, some of their time, especially Will Ospreay and Jon Moxley, have oversold the shit out of things. And I'm like, okay, you guys got to turn it down. Like, bring it down a couple notches. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how many times Okada hit the Alpha in the face, but it had no effect whatsoever. But it fit. Because you've seen it previously. He was doing the Hulk. He was hulking up. He was doing all this on his face. He was getting himself hyped. He was getting psyched up. He should have done
Okada, hit him a couple times. Boom, boom. Man, I ain't hurt. Boom, boom. I ain't hurt. I ain't feel nothing. I just loved it, man.
Being that Sting is still involved with AEW, he should have done the Sting and just beat on his chest like King Kong. Because that's what Sting would do to no sell.
Oh, absolutely. But the Alpha there, you know, he's not, you can tell, you know, that's for one, that's not his style. 2,
no, it's not, but it would have been funny just because Sting's still involved with him.
Yeah. And 2, that match in itself, you kind of felt the way they were telling that story, it felt a little personal. Again, like I said, when they I guess I don't know who was on commentary, I forgot the guy's name. But he said,
talking about Excalibur, are you?
No. It was
last night it was Jim Ross,
Excalibur, Taz, but it was the other guy he had a British accent. I can't remember his name. He just retired.
Oh, Nigel,
yeah.
Nigel.
When Nigel was talking about the Alpha, and he was talking about what he said, you know, that he wanted the one thing that Okada never gave him was respect. You can tell that match was personal to him. You can tell it was personal for Okada because it's kind of like Okada in his situation was, when I see the Alpha, I see me. I got to hold down the younger guy, the younger version of me, because if I don't, he's going to take over. Now, it was a great match. At the end, we respect a handshake. You know, it didn't happen, especially, you know, within the family. They didn't like the way the Alpha was going at Okada. Then Kyle Fletcher comes out, made his return from a brutal ankle injury. Embraces homie. Next thing you know, you see a clothesline coming. And now we got our next matchup, our next story told between the Alpha and the Prototype.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it because for one, I'm glad to see Kyle Fletcher is back. That's one thing. I'm glad he's back. Number 2, you know these 2 guys, 2 real life friends, going to put on the instant classic once they get in the ring.
Fletcher's that good. Like if he didn't get hurt, we'd be having a lot of different conversations about who has what titles right now.
Yeah. And I think a lot of, let me remind everybody, this is the same guy, Kyle Fletcher, who was in a faction with Will Ospreay and Mark Davis. My man was a tag team wrestler. He got away from tag team wrestling because Mark Davis was injured. Tony Khan put this man, gave him the rocket pack and let this man be a singer wrestler and prove himself to be a singer wrestler. And what he has done so far. My man
can rock pink like no other guy I've seen.
That too. And he landed a Sky Blue. And he's also TNT champion multiple times. This man has elevated his star. And not only that, this is also the same man who took his best friend, Will Ospreay, to the limit and beat his best friend, Will Ospreay.
It's only a matter of time before we get main event matches with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay.
Oh, yes. Title. Oh, yes. And I can't
once Will Ospreay gets it, which it's a foregone, it has to happen. Yeah. It has to. It's one of those matches like you'd say, well, I don't need to watch this match because you already know Will Ospreay is going to win. The match is going to be incredible, first off.
Yes.
They're going to make sure of that. But there are times where, just like Cody Rhodes, if Cody Rhodes would have lost that match again, though I have to finish my story, people would have rioted. Like, sometimes you just have to know who's going to win because it only makes sense. And if it doesn't, that's when WWE or AEW would say, we don't respect our fans. Like, you throw curveballs in there because you can, not when it's plain as day, this is what needs to happen. Will Ospreay's already done enough. It's not like he's shown up like, this is my debut, I'm coming out as a mystery opponent, and now I'm winning. Like, he's been there a while, he's paid his dues, he's done all that stuff. It's in his hometown. He's got to win.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if people caught a glance, but when Kyle Fletcher picked up the international championship belt, him and Okada picked it up at the same time. And Fletcher looked at Okada and said, "You sure?" That's telling me at some point we're going to see Okada going to lead the Don Callis family and might be joined the Alpha down the road.
Well, and that's the problem with the Don Callis family is you've got too many single stars.
Yeah.
It's now, like we've talked about on a previous show, like the Vision or the Bloodline. You have mainly one single star tag team wrestlers, maybe somebody in the women's division, but you don't have a bunch of single stars all in one faction.
No,
because it never works out well. If that's the story you're trying to tell, is that you're going to have this big implosion. But they've been trying to operate the Don Callis family as a unit for far too long when you have a bunch of solo stars in it. It's not like a tag team, a solo star, throw in a Jamie Hayter or something like that into the group. Like, it's a bunch of single stars all fighting for the same thing.
Same time.
And the fact that they let Takeshita and Okada go this long before it actually went anywhere, and now you might end up turning around and doing the same exact thing with Fletcher and Okada. Especially because Fletcher,
he's the man in that group.
Yeah, he needs to be removed from the group and go either into another group that he's going to run and lead. But he's on the cusp of being in the main event. Like, he's right there. So there's no point in getting him involved heavily into another faction story.
I think I don't see Kyle Fletcher leaving. What I would love to see is that since Kyle Fletcher is the man in that group, why don't you surround him with guys who can protect him? Get rid of everybody and just keep 4 people who's there for Kyle Fletcher. Like you said, hey, you can throw in Jamie Hayter in there. You can throw any woman in
Jamie Hayter was just the name that
I'm saying throw any woman in there. Even Chris, that whoever. But you get one, but get 3 guys. Get 3 guys who's there that's going to keep Kyle Fletcher standing tall.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you look at it, right now, is like I said, you might see Kyle Fletcher beat the crap out of Okada. They're going to turn Okada. And then what? Andrade going to be next? Because Andrade is going to be one of the title shot too. And he's damn good.
And he's my favorite male wrestler wrestling right now.
So, I mean, it's cool that Don Callis got all the top single stars and he got a couple of tag teams there that's not on par level. But if I'm Don Callis, I get rid of everybody. I'm going to get Kyle Fletcher, and that's the name. Say, hey, I'll get his girlfriend, Sky Blue, and I'm going to get 3 guys. 2 tag team, maybe another single guy who for the mid card, and they're all there just to make sure that Kyle Fletcher reached the mountaintop and get there, eat there, and get theirs too. Because they have all these guys who's on the same level, on the same par as Kyle Fletcher, ego's gonna get in the way, ambition's gonna get in the way, and nobody gonna be able to eat.
Yeah.
Another aspect I like that actually this happened during the 0 hour. Mick Foley made his appearance on AEW. and look, you know,
the dick kick.
Yeah. I don't hate it. Actually, I'm kind of glad to see Mick Foley back in wrestling. I'm glad to see he's part of AEW. And I'm glad that he interacted with Darby Allin, MJF. I love the fact that him and MJF got into it, which was kind of great. You know, it kind of made the main event that more intriguing because you didn't know that was he going to be involved in that because of what happened to him during that 0 hour confrontation with MJF, Darby Allin. And when he said that Darby Allin just like him, he's weird, and Darby Allin's doing this for the weird people. Yeah. I like that. Now, what I don't like about that whole thing is I don't want to see Mick Foley in the wrestling ring.
Well, and that's why it worked, because you used him in the right way. If they would have had him come out and get involved in the main event, it would have been like, why? No, the dude's broken, like can barely move. What are you doing? But again, I equate it of like Lil Yachty in WWE. I have no issue with Lil Yachty in WWE because it fits, and they don't have him do too much. It's not like Jelly Roll where they're parading this guy out every second that they can. Oh, look at this guy. He's a wrestler. No, Jelly Roll is not a wrestler. But yet they want to throw him out there. Oh, we couldn't get, Bad Bunny, so Jelly, can you come out here? And we would have had a tag team match. If it wasn't for them scrapping the plans because of the backlash of the Pat McAfee thing, we would have had a tag team match of Cody and Jelly Roll, Pat McAfee, and Randy Orton. Now, that still might have gotten scrapped because Randy is hurt. Like, dude needs to just call it a wrap at this point. But anyway.
Hey, Randy Orton came out with a tweet, and he said he's not hurt. He's on vacation. Leave him alone.
I mean, WWE is the one that was even saying he was hurt, so I don't know that he screwed his back up in that match, but whatever. I mean, WWE will say anything for whatever reason, but
of course,
Mick Foley coming out and just doing what he did works, because now the anticipation was everybody's going to be excited that he's going to show up for the main event, but he didn't have to, and the match was still great.
Yeah. Now there were rumors some time ago that Mick Foley wants a retirement match.
Well, yeah, and then he got a concussion when he was training. That's when he came out and said, yeah, I'm just not doing it.
There you go. So we can put that to bed.
Yeah, he I forgot what he was doing, but he said he took a backdrop or something while he was training and got a concussion, so he just immediately called it a wrap on that.
Yeah.
That, and I mean, who wants to see Mick Foley in a retirement match at this point?
Nobody.
If this was 20 years ago, sure. Not now.
Not even 20 years ago.
I mean, 20 years ago, it's 2006. He was still wrestling, man.
Yeah,
but I think TNA at that point. But
still didn't want to see him.
But it's like, Ric Flair had his final retirement match, 2 years ago with Jay Lethal? Like, nobody wanted to see that.
Mm-mm. And shout out to Jay Lethal. We ain't seen you in a minute. Still know you part of AEW.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you in a minute. Another match. It was okay.
I'm surprised you haven't talked about it yet.
But it was cool. Swerve Strickland match.
There you go. That's why I was like, I'm surprised you haven't brought him up yet.
No, man, look, he did what he's supposed to do. It was Bandito. I like Bandito. Bandito and Brody King. It was cool. But he just did the job. Did what he's supposed to do.
The Poison Rana off the apron was great.
Rana who?
Bandito gave Swerve a Poison Rana off the apron.
Yeah. That was great. That was great. But then again, like I said, Swerve, I had no doubt in my mind he was going to win. He just did a job.
I mean, for being off of TV, there was no justifiable way you're going to say Bandito's going to beat Swerve Strickland when Swerve's been off of TV for so long.
Right.
Like,
even Tony Khan ain't going to make that mistake.
No.
Hey, Swerve, you going to lose to Bandito. Man, I don't know why you brought me back. That's like telling MJF, hey, you're going to lose to Darby Allin again. Yeah, okay. We'll see how that turned out.
I wouldn't be surprised if Darby's taking an extended vacation right now.
The way he wrestled that yesterday, and since he won the title, he need a 2-month vacation.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't be surprised if he's just gone for an extended period of time.
Yes. And what other match? Well, shoot. I mean, it was a lot of matches there, but let's go to the main event. MJF, Darby Allin. It was a brutal match. When I mean brutal, it was brutal for Darby Allin because he took a lot of hits. The hits keep on coming. I mean, at one point, I thought this guy was concussed.
I mean, the natural look on his face, he looks kind of clueless.
Yeah.
Like, if you see him without the face paint on at all, you're like, I don't know if he's all there right now.
Nah. I kind of like the introduction from the announcer. He like, bat dirt crazy. Like, I'm trying to clean up my language. I'm trying to clean it up. The only time I want to cuss is when Jamie get me on the rant. I'm trying to clean up.
Oh, so now it's a challenge for me to get you to do it every show? I can get you to do it.
No, it's not a challenge. I said the only time I need to cuss is when you get me to that rant.
Oh, okay.
But since I don't have no rant, I ain't cussing. But he was badass crazy that I ain't gonna say the rest of it. So, in which he is badass crazy.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's a man who climbed Mount Everest, which it was announced. But this match overall was just good. Darby Allin put one of his best matches he put on in a very long time. Especially when you in there with your longtime rival, a guy you started this industry with, or this company with. And I enjoyed this match. Now, did it got me going a little both ways? Kind of felt like maybe Darby could win this match? Sure. There was a point where I thought that Darby would win this match. But I went into the match knowing that MJF had to get his title back.
I knew MJF was going to win just because so many people are still on the fence with Darby. Tony Khan's not going to risk having All In is Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay.
Oh, absolutely not.
I mean, there's no way you can risk ticket sales of Darby Allin. Now, if it was Darby Allin versus Will Ospreay and then you added an MJF, you could feel comfortable with it. If Darby Allin somehow gets added into a 3-way in the match, Will Ospreay better still win. But I think it would be a good way because Darby's still looked at as not a serious wrestler. That he himself is basically just a gimmick.
Not only that. When you look at Darby Allin, you look at, is this guy gonna survive? Or is he gonna make it? Because he what's the one thing that Ric Flair called Mick Foley what he was? He's a bona fide stuntman. And what's Darby Allin? A bona fide stuntman. And you got to wonder if he would have beaten MJF and was going to go to AEW All In as champion, fight Will Ospreay. Is he going to make it to the match?
Well, and that's, I think, part of what this run was with basically their pseudo open. It wasn't even an open challenge. It was just him wrestling like nonstop every week with the belt. I think it's to try and shift people's opinion of him that he is a serious wrestler, which I have no problem with. The only thing that people really can knock him for at this point is that he's like 5'5" and 130 pounds.
Yeah. And
there's nothing he can do about that. I mean, Rey Mysterio made a long career off of being 5'4" and $120 or whatever he is. Like,
and yeah, that ain't again, he's a glorified stuntman.
Yeah.
And nobody takes stuntman seriously in professional wrestling.
I mean, Mick Foley had a pretty decent career with just being a stuntman.
Yeah, but what I mean by that, I'm talking about when Ric Flair put down this book.
Oh, yeah.
You know, wrestlers.
Ric Flair's one of the biggest haters in wrestling history, though.
Yeah, he is. But usually, some wrestlers don't take guys who just stunt guys seriously because they just there just do stunts, not there to be a wrestler.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and Darby
that's
Allin,
why people didn't take ECW seriously, because every match was a hardcore match.
Yes.
That's the way the company was designed, is even though you might have Jerry Lynn versus Lance Storm going on, one of them could swing a chair and it was perfectly legal. Even though ECW had better technical wrestlers than WWF or WCW at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody can debate that. You had at one point Lance Storm, Jerry Lynn, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, Rob Van Dam. That's just 5 off the top of my head without really digging in deep, not counting Shane Douglas, just incredible. You had those 5 guys in the company at one time who could out-wrestle basically anybody in any promotion.
Yeah.
But they were still all looked at as glorified stunt guys.
Yeah. And that's, and with Darby, the one thing that Darby got going for him is Tony Khan. Because Tony Khan put the TNT title on him very early. Actually, he won it multiple times. But then I think the best thing that ever happened to Darby is by working with Sting.
Oh, yeah.
And you can tell by working with Sting, you can tell the way he is doing things now, even though he's doing a lot of reckless, but you can tell that some of Sting influence has rubbed off on him. Now, afterwards, Kevin Knight came out again, came check on his friend to help him back. And what did he do? He ended up beat this boy up while he was on a stretcher. Again, it made sense because was the one thing we said, Jamie, was that when Darby loses, they had to have a direction for him to go in. He either going to stay in the main event scene and start wrestling some main eventers, or you going to put him in somewhere in between where he is going to be a main eventer, but he's also going to wrestle some guys in the mid-card division. And Kevin Knight is next man up.
Well, it's the Paul Heyman philosophy. You take a main eventer, you have him wrestle a mid-carder
to elevate
and turn that mid-carder into a main eventer.
Yeah. And now, me and you both have said that Darby needs some time off, and I hope he gets that time off. But when he does come back, I'm looking forward to that program with him and Kevin Knight.
Well, and the other thing you have to keep in mind is that AEW has a roster basically the size of WWE with a lot less titles.
Yes. And
they don't have titles for each show, which I personally love. But you got Swerve Strickland back. That's another main eventer. Darby lost. Darby needs to go off of TV for a while. Heal up, nagging injuries, things like that. Get a little bit of a reset. But you got to have time for Swerve to be back. There's only so much TV time to go around. And that's what on all the shows, I always talk about. Both these companies hoard talent. Some of them might not mind it because they're getting a steady paycheck, but at the same time, you might go months without getting used. Wardlow's supposed to be coming back. There was rumors that he was going to show up last night.
It just a matter of time till Jay White comes back. It doesn't matter of time
available.
Yeah.
So that's all TV time, which means other people are going to have to get pushed down.
Mm-hmm. And there was a Hangman Adam Page talk yesterday, and they don't know when he's coming back. He's still on vacation, healing up for some injuries, neck and neck injuries and stuff. So, yeah. And give Tony Khan a lot of credit. He used his opportunity to make Darby Allin main eventer, pushed him up there. Mm-hmm. Now, while Darby allegedly he might take a vacation, when he come back, Kevin Knight is going to elevate. And actually, we got to rewind this. Kevin Knight and Speedball Bailey was a team, so what happened to Speedball?
I mean, does anybody honestly care? It's like when we were talking about the Street Profits yesterday. Montez is in a singles match. What happened to Angelo Dawkins? Does anybody honestly care? Speedball Bailey is just fine. He's perfectly fine as a wrestler. He doesn't have the charisma to really do anything on his own.
But he gonna need some answers from Kevin Knight. Yo, what we doing here?
Well, I mean, at that
If
point, Kevin Knight's already established himself as the heel. So if maybe they do have an intention of making Speedball a solo wrestler, and maybe that's the feud now is Speedball sticks up for Darby while Darby's out healing. And you got that little program, which then goes right into Kevin Knight and Darby. And then Speedball gets his little push because he's got a victory over Kevin Knight, or maybe a loss, whatever they decide to do. But maybe Speedball just gets released. Then he can go to Maple Leaf.
Not only you just broke it down, you just told Tony Khan, hey, look, we don't got room for Speedball Mike Bailey. So let's just go ahead.
I mean, it's just the reality of it. Like, it's one thing if this was like even 5 years ago. If somebody got released from WWE, you're like, oh, this is bullshit. Like, I remember when they released Bray Wyatt, I was like, I'm done. I have no need to watch WWE because without Bray Wyatt, the company's trash. And then they bring Bray Wyatt back, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it again. And then they do the thing with Roman Reigns. I smashed a remote. Not because I was so invested in it, but I'm like, this is how crappy this company is. That's their first default is just run right back to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has the charisma of a fruit. Like, I said it yesterday on the show, and I've said it on other shows. Roman Reigns is the definition of there's no reason that any wrestling promoter cannot ever say this person can't get over. All you have to do is force it. If you keep forcing it onto the fans, they're going to accept it, especially if it's a WWE fan. If you shove it down their throat, they will accept it. Roman Reigns had no business having the career he had. It was forced on him. And it wasn't because he was overachieving. I mean, John Cena all but called him out in front of an arena full of people and on TV for having no charisma and no business being in the ring with him during that promo. And you could see on Roman's face, he had no idea what to do with himself. Yeah. But they kept pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. They pushed him into success. So,
I mean,
going back with the whole point of that, releases, the reason I brought all that up, releases aren't a bad thing now. Because there's so many companies. 5 years ago, AEW was still new. And they were kind of at a high point at that point because that's when they were just pushing NXT off to a whole nother night to not have to compete with them heads up. Which, if you saw the ratings, Dynamite smashed NXT last week and this week by over 100,000. So they are gaining momentum. But if you get released now, you've got TNA, which some would say, well, I want to stay in WWE's good graces, so maybe TNA is the option for me. Or, I don't care, I'm going to go do it on my own. Maybe AEW is the option for you. Maybe you go the Killer Cross route. I'm just going to go make a stupid amount of money just running the indies, and you go to MLW and New Japan and some other places, CMLL, and just collect massive paychecks for a while. Baron Corbin, same thing. Baron's already back with WWE. So it's not that bad. At least when you get released now, you have an option to see your favorite wrestlers. Maybe you love the New Day. It's only a matter of time, very shortly, that you're going to see the New Day on TV again. And it's not going to be with WWE. A couple years ago when you got released, it was kind of like oh man, I'm not going to see this guy again. There's so many places these guys can go that you can watch them easily.
Yeah. I know we touched on it. We're going to end the show with this one, but I know we touched on it a little bit. And we're going to talk about the tag team you beat both Light and three guys you really don't give a shit about. See, I cuss just because I know that. The Hurt Syndicate always look good. I love seeing them on TV. I'm looking forward to at least one day that they'll bring another guy in so they can let Bobby Lashley be a single star so he can
be the
best
geriatric crew of wrestlers of all time.
Yes, MVP, Sheldon Benjamin, and Bobby Lashley. I would love to see Bobby Lashley be a single wrestler, maybe try to get in the main event scene.
I'm really surprised that they haven't given him a title run since he's gotten there.
Yeah,
like an actual heavyweight title run. Like
right.
him versus Swerve would have been huge.
I was on the thinking of at some point, because Swerve is a heel, that they will turn the Hurt Syndicate a heel faction again, and maybe Swerve will join the Hurt Syndicate. But now think about it, it don't make sense because of Prince Nana. But yeah, I'm surprised Bobby
Talk about
Lashley
somebody could get released.
Hey, come on, man, not Prince Nana.
If there was anybody on AEW's roster,
Prince Nana is the best hype man in professional wrestling. Name one hype man that's better than, and Paul Heyman doesn't count because he's not a hype man.
This isn't a rap concert. You don't have a hype man for a wrestler. You have a manager.
Yeah, but he fits Swerve's gimmick.
I mean, I would say Lil Yachty then. Lil Yachty's got Trick Williams looking like $1 billion.
You know the line I like from Lil Yachty? That the best line he said so far since he's been on there. Hey, catering over there.
But yes, to what you just said, Lil Yachty is blowing the doors off of what Trick Williams is right now.
But Prince Nana, look, I know we all know that Prince was a former wrestler. He fits what Swerve does. I mean, yeah, he come out here, he do his dance.
That's all he does.
He's part of the grand entrance with Swerve. I get it. When you see him at ringside, the only thing you kind of wonder is in that cup is it liquor, coffee? What we'll be doing here, man? You got a white foam cup.
It's apple juice.
What we doing? Are we doing the Scott Hall maneuver? What we doing? Apple juice. But you can't let Prince Nana go. But but like I said, and you're right. It would be nice to see Bobby Lashley get a run with the title one time, or chase the title, and maybe put Sheldon in a tag team situation with somebody else. But other than that, those guys looked real good yesterday. Now, the three guys you hate, not literally hate, but you hate, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks. Now,
I don't hate Kenny Omega. I hate the Young Bucks. I've always hated the Young Bucks.
Okay. You hate the Young Bucks. Kenny Omega is on good.
Kenny's Kenny. Like I have times where I'm like, I don't care, and other times I'm like, Kenny looks real good.
Well, yesterday must be one of those moments because yesterday, Kenny looked real good yesterday.
He did.
Nah,
I still hate the Young Bucks.
You gotta give them that credit. They looked good too, but you know the reason why they look good to me is because of the spots they were in. You got the little spots they were in, they looked real good. It was real quick. They didn't overdo anything. It was kind of like, look, here you are, do your move, and we're gonna go on to the next one. They didn't overdo it. They didn't trying to make it a what you call it. You hear what the Usos do? Super kick fest.
Yeah.
We didn't see a lot of that. We seen that at the end. And shout out to Bobby Lashley. I ain't know Bobby Lashley can do a super kick, but we know now. But they looked real good yesterday. They look like, I don't know, it looked like they're taking their condition seriously, and it looked like they're taking their competitive seriously again. It kind of looks like they actually want to be there. To be EVPs, they actually felt like they belong at AEW. Whereas in time past, they kind of look like they ain't want to be there. Why are they there? And as your case, Tony, please release them.
Yeah, that wasn't all that long ago when they were trying to do like the "we're too good for you" routine of like their characters. I'm like, you guys aren't even doing anything. Just release them. They're not even wrestling. They show up, they do like these petty promo segments for 2 minutes, and that's it. Like, just get rid of them.
Yeah, that was around that time when we found out that their contracts was up. And they have reported that they was putting out feelers out and see,
and nobody wanted them.
The WWE offered I think it was Kevin Owens wanted them to come to WWE, and they found out they were not gonna get the money that they was going to expect to get.
Because again, unless you're an avid AEW fan now, you probably don't know who the Young Bucks are. you didn't know who the Young Bucks were 5 years ago, unless you were a New Japan fan.
New Japan, Ring of Honor, yeah. 6, 7 years ago, yeah.
They don't have a name.
They were big on the internet, and they were big in New Japan. They was big in Ring of Honor. But the one thing that a lot of people always say about the Young Bucks was that we wanted to see them wrestle tag teams in the States, where wrestle good tag teams and try to put on good matches against good tag teams. And you know a tag team they actually put a good match on and they lost? The Lucha Bros. You know another good tag team that they wrestle and put a good show with and they split with? FTR. And I stopped watching their matches with FTR because both teams were linked to each other. That's why FTR is in AEW, because of the Young Bucks. Stupid, but yeah.
Yeah.
We might now going to see the Young Bucks versus Cope and Cage, the geriatric AEW tag team title match down the road. I am not looking forward to that match because both of these guys are around the same age as me. And I do believe that one of them is older than me.
Age is 100% older than you are. Dude's like 51 or something now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're old, but you're not that old.
Yeah, both guys in there 50, 51. I don't want to see the Young Bucks versus Cope and Cage because even don't get me wrong, it would be a good match. Yes.
I don't expect them to have the titles for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if they drop them by All In.
Either to the Young Bucks or the New Day.
I would expect the New Day. The Young Bucks do not need to touch the titles anytime soon. Until there's new blood in the tag team division, they don't need to touch them.
Yeah. It also goes back to what I've been saying for a long time. Certain wrestlers and certain tag teams don't need the title because it doesn't make sense for them to have the title right now. I just truly believe that if you're the Young Bucks, you don't need a title. You just need to put on great matches and make other tag teams look good.
It's not just that. It's when you hit a certain status, you don't need a title to get people to be interested in you. The Undertaker wrestled in WWE for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
He was like a heavyweight champion like 6 times.
Yes.
And one time was for a week.
Yes.
Like his first title run was only a week long.
Mm-hmm.
So like you can't even really count that one. But he didn't need it. He also had a gimmick as part of his character, the WrestleMania streak, that made that far more important than even being champion. Yeah. And WWE still managed to screw that one up somehow. It's not that he lost. It's that he lost to somebody that had no need for doing that. Brock was already the biggest monster on your roster. And you have him beat The Undertaker. For what purpose?
Set him up to beat John Cena. Don't even know why.
If you would have had it been Roman, you could have said, okay, Roman is the next big thing. This makes sense. But you have Roman do it the very following year, basically destroying all credibility of the WrestleMania streak to begin with. Secondly, not doing any favors to Roman because it meant nothing because it had already been done. But the Young Bucks are in AEW, only in AEW. They are on that level of they don't need the titles to be relevant.
No. What we're trying to say, they're already relevant. They just need to put tag teams over, let alone make themselves look good. Now, Kenny Omega's a little different because Kenny Omega, as he stated, he does have a lot of time left in wrestling, period. So with Kenny, it's about being the main event scene, trying to be world champion before he decided to call it quits. And last night he looked real good. We not always gonna say that about Kenny Omega because he had that major surgery. We don't know the next time Kenny's going to look good like he did on yesterday. But if you're Tony Khan, you're aware of that. Like, hey, once we get done with Ospreay and MJF, somehow he's got to find a way to fit Kenny in this whole situation.
Well, and that's the problem when you hoard this much talent. Think of their main event right now. Of all viable people just right now that could be in the main event at the drop of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, start with MJF. He's your champ, so obviously.
Yeah.
Moxley could get inserted in there at any point in time. Swerve, Hangman Page, Samoa Joe, Darby.
Wardlow.
I'm not even saying Wardlow because he's been off TV for so long. That's
off.
7 guys without me putting any thought, like any actual thought of who's already in that cusp of doing it. You only got 1 heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Now, if this was WWE, you split those guys in half. You've got the WWE undisputed title and the world heavyweight title.
That would suck.
Exactly. I've never been a fan of the 2 titles thing. The whole concept of it was stupid to have different titles for different shows. But the only problem is that's what people are used to because WWE is the big show. Now you got to find time to work just those guys in. So the more guys you push into the main event, which you always need to be pushing people into the main event. It's like a farm system in baseball. You're always bringing in new talent, developing new talent because as WWE found out, when you rely on the same 2 guys for years, people stop caring about you. But you've already got way too many guys that are ready to go. Pulling Bobby Lashley over as an example. Well, now what do you do with Moxley? What do you do with Darby? This worked out because Swerve's back now. Darby could take a little time off, heal up the nagging injuries, get off TV for a while. It kind of works out. But Wardlow comes back. Do you push Wardlow into the main event? Because then Adam Page isn't here right now, so that kind of works out. But when Page comes back, what happens?
And whenever Kyle Fletcher, when they decided
Kyle Fletcher, that's the person I was about to name. That would have put you at 8 people. He's on the cusp, and he's, as far as star power wise, he'd probably be in your top 3 with Swerve and MJF.
Andrade is on the cusp. He beat Kenny Omega,
and that's what I mean. You're closing in on 10 guys now. Yeah, you're closing in on 10 guys, which good for them that they're deep enough to do that. WWE can't say that right now at all. You got maybe 5. You've got like 5 guys that you could probably say that about, but there's only so much TV time.
Yes. That's why it's important that they continue to improve on their weekly shows, Dynamite, especially Collision. And it's also important that they keep developing. And listen, I know their stories don't make sense, but at the end of the day, nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense for either company. But with AEW, what you see is this is a company that's coming up, and like I said, a few tweaks here and there. Sky's the limit.
Again, if I was Tony Khan, I'm hiring a booker / head of creative. I'm hiring an actual writing room and unleashing these guys. I'm focusing on the network stuff, getting myself either out of this deal with Paramount, projected Paramount, if it goes through, if not, at least with Warner Brothers right now, or solidifying something with them where carry all of our stuff on HBO Max. Let's not do pay-per-views anymore. Carry it on there. Just as if you got a subscription, you get to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, Paramount has UFC. I know for a fact they will wait and get rid of that contract.
UFC, I don't know how people still watch it.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, the fact that they still lose so much money, but yet everybody talks about, I watch UFC all the time. How is this company just bleeding money? You don't pay your talent. You don't pay your refs. Where's all the money going? It's sitting in Dana White and Ari Emanuel's pockets.
Yeah. Yeah. So, again, like I said, we know Paramount is ready to get out that deal. So, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm using that for example. But, hey, look, these guys not making you no money. These guys not doing anything for you. Look at my product. We're bringing in, our viewership is going up. We're the number 1 company, wrestling company in the world that put on A+ pay-per-views. Look at the number.
If I was Tony Khan, I'd be banging down the door at NBC.
Oh, yeah.
NBC has a history in the wrestling business between USA, doing obviously Saturday Main Event. They've worked with Vince for decades beforehand. They have a history in the wrestling business. I'd be banging down their door.
You think
get something set up on Peacock?
You think NBC's happy with the WWE? Heck no. Hell
no.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show for today. And remember, work on your signatures and work on your finishing moves. And do not use your
And today's
signature
is coming
move.
back. One of my favorites. And today's is coming back. I'll get to see it on TV again.
Yes. And remember, do not use your signature move as your finishing move. It does not make sense. That's how you lose all the credibility with me and Jamie.
I wouldn't say that. It depends on the situation. But I'm also not a fan of seeing a finisher 15 times in a match either. It's a finisher for a reason.
That is true. That is true. And remember, no super kick party.
No frog splashes, no super kicks, no spears.
No. Please don't. You use them when the right moment. You don't use them all the time. We use them all the time.
If you're under 240 pounds or you're shaped like Jey Uso, I don't want to see it.
Back to the Jey Uso. But no.
I told you I will throw it in every show.
Yeah, I know you will. And remember, catch us Tuesdays and Saturdays. Today was a special because we previewed AEW last night, and we had to talk about that pay-per-view. So you won't catch me and Jamie tomorrow due to work schedules. So you'll catch us again on Saturday and again next Tuesday. So any last words, my brother?
No.
Yep. All right, guys. We up out of here. Happy Memorial Day. And remember, take care of your mental. Peace.
Later.